Okay, good morning. We're officially live weeks now, and it's definitely not easy. I'll tell you that. When I first started on this little, I guess some people call it a weight loss journey. It was something that I didn't necessarily do with the expectation to lose weight. That wasn't my goal. My ultimate goal was just to become healthier and happier with myself, and really, weight has just kind of been a like icing on the cake for me, and it's been super. It's been really exciting, honestly. It's been exhilarating to watch the weight come off. So um, I've had a couple hiccups this week. I'll tell you that, and that's something that I think anybody who's lost weight or anyone who's done anything to like break free from like an addiction or anything like that has definitely experienced roadblocks, bumps in the road, and really the difference between someone who's really successful with whatever it is you're trying to change and someone who's not is your eagerness and willingness to basically flip the bird to whatever it is that's trying to hold you back and finding a way to make it work anyway. So I'm going to tell you a couple stories really quick here. I apologize, we're already 2 minutes into this video, but I feel like these are stories that need to be told. These are things that need to be shared because I think people can relate to these. So this morning I am like, it's a struggle bus. My kids are out of school, and I slept in late. My wife tried to wake me up at my normal 7 o'clock. I was exhausted. I was ornery. I was not happy, and I snoozed my alarm, went back to sleep, and woke up an hour later just feeling kind of grumpy. And I think most people can relate to that, right? When kids are out of school, it changes things. Like I feel like you can get into a rhythm and things can go really well. But when something, at least for me, when something pulls me out of my rhythm, it screws me up like bad. So this morning, my wife, it's Valentine's Day. My wife made bacon and eggs, and my son made pancakes. Jackson, bless his heart, he found that we didn't have any pancake mix. And so here he is, 10 years old. He pulls up the Google. He finds a recipe on our freaking Alexa, our Alexa show, which is pretty cool, by the way. And he proceeds to make homemade pancake mix, which is freaking awesome. Like, who does that? 10-year-old kid does that? That's pretty rad. So I was pretty excited about it, right? So here I am, like normally this fat kid inside of me, this fat kid who sits on my shoulders, would have just died over not really the bacon. Like I'm not like a huge bacon fan, but like I love pancakes. To me, it's not really breakfast; it's a dessert. So peanut butter, a little bit of jam, maybe some Kodiak cake syrup on there. I don't like tons and tons of extra sugar because really that's all freaking pancakes are, sugar. But I wanted them so badly, but I'm like, no, I can't. And I sat there and had this inner battle in my head. I'm like, but I sit here and I have smoothies every single day for breakfast. And it's the same flavor every day. And I got so frustrated with myself that how is it that sorry, I'm getting kind of emotional now, but like I literally have the same thing every day. This is old. Like everyone else I know can have something different every day for breakfast, and it's no big deal. And it absolutely sucks that I have to have the same thing every day, the same flavor. I mean, I can vary it slightly by adding one thing or two things, changing it up slightly to change the flavor. But for the most part, it's the same thing. So I sat there and I was like battling with myself, trying to decide if I could just give in for one day. And even though I was ready to give in, it really was like I was ready to just like, who cares? It doesn't matter. It's no big deal. It'll, tomorrow's another day, which is true. And you gotta look at weight loss that way. But for me, I knew that if I accepted that as my fate for today, it's going to be harder tomorrow to force myself to make that adjustment. So what I did? I got my frozen veggies out, and I got my smoothie mix out, and I just went about my day making my regular smoothie. And my wife comes over and she's like, "Are you having breakfast?" And she kind of like says it reluctantly. And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Are you gonna have bacon and eggs?" And I'm like, I really want bacon and eggs, but I'm not gonna have bacon and eggs today. And she was shocked, like, cause I'm not fat because I eat bacon, But bacon is one of those things we have a couple times a year, and I like the flavor of bacon, but I don't love it enough that like I have to have 17 pieces of bacon. I can have 2 or 3 pieces of bacon and feel just fine. So I walked right past the bacon and eggs and decided to make my smoothies, and that was going to be good enough, right? I didn't need to go to the gym today because it was my day off. The kids were out of school. Actually, I'm shooting a wedding later today, so like I'm going to get plenty of exercise with that. So I'm like, I don't really need it. I don't need the exercise. I don't need to go to the gym. We're good. No big deal. And the more I sat there and stewed on that, in my brain, like I'm thinking this, I'm not talking about it, but Katie's like, so are you going to the gym? And I was like, I don't think I'm going to go. And she's like, wait, what? And she was like bothered. And I'm like, I just don't feel like going to the gym today. Oh my gosh, please tell me you're kidding me. I just don't feel like going to the gym today. And I'll tell you a story about these in a second. But she's like, what do you mean? She's like, you have to go to the gym. It's Friday. And I'm like, yeah, it's Friday, but like I'm gonna go. I shoot a wedding later today, and really shooting weddings, like I burn so many calories. I can lose 3 or 4 pounds in a single day shooting a wedding. Obviously, I put it right back on, which sucks, but I can technically lose that much weight quickly. I burn a boatload of calories in a wedding day. So I was like, I justified it. I was like, no big deal. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and do my thing. I'm not going to go, and it'll be no big deal. Nobody's going to care. And she's like, but I feel like you need to go. And I'm like, but I don't want to go. And I started getting kind of like defensive. I'm like, I don't have to go. I don't want to go. I don't feel like there's any reason for me to go. Like, I'm going to get plenty of exercise later today. I have another wedding tomorrow. I know I'm going to get up early tomorrow to go with a friend to the gym. So it's not a big deal. Like, if I don't go today, it's not going to hurt anybody. But the more I sat and thought about it, I was like, I have to go. Because the other day I proved to myself that if I allow myself to find an excuse not to go, then I will not go. I will find that excuse and I will use it not to go. That brings me to this story. This story is ridiculous. Y'all probably know what these are. I apologize for not shaving. I usually shave after the gym. I look like hell today. I apologize, but who cares? So the other day, I dropped my kids off at school, and I was heading over to the gym, and I reached down to grab my AirPods because, like, for me, music is critically important. I have to have my AirPods, have to have my loud music while I'm working out. And I reached my AirPods, and they weren't there. They were not in the little compartment. They normally are in my car. And I remembered back to the fact that they were actually I left them at my house. I took them out to charge and left them in my house on accident. Didn't realize that they were there at my house. And I just dropped my kids off at school. My kids' school is 15 minutes away from our house. The gym is, 5 minutes away from there. To get back home, it's about, a 15-minute drive. So here I am, 15 minutes away from home. My pre-workout is starting to wear off. I had already took a detour to help to do something else for one of my kids at school that put me behind that day. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, I have to have my music. I have to have screaming, loud, obnoxious music bumping while I'm working out, or I just can't work out. It doesn't work for me. And so I'm sitting here in the parking lot. I'm getting kind of like frustrated. I'm getting emotional. I'm getting defensive. I'm like, what the heck? Like, here I am having this inner battle, like trying to decide, is it okay if I just give up today? Is it okay if I walk away from this? Is it okay if I go back to, like, I'll just skip today. It's not a big deal. It's just a day, right? But then I said, you know what? I flipped the bird to that awful person, that fat kid that sits on my shoulders, and I went to Target because Target was like 3 minutes away. And I'm like, if I have to spend another $140 on a pair of headphones to make sure that I don't use that as an excuse to not work out today, then it's worth it. I am worth it. And I think that's really the hard part with breaking chains, breaking free from anything that you've kind of put as like a roadblock to keep you from success. Is you have to be willing to do whatever it takes. And I know, like, people who try to quit smoking, people who try and quit or try and lose weight. There's so many different things that we try and do, and we like the idea of it. We like the idea of the outcome, but we don't like the idea of the work that it takes to put into it to actually um, finish the process and all the crap in between. Like anyone who's tried to grow your hair out really long, like, and I've done that before. The first little while is fine. It's like, okay, cool. Like, you know, 6 months it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna love it. And then, you know, month 2, month 3, month 4, I'm like, this sucks. I can't do anything with it to make it look good. It just feels awkward. It feels weird. I don't love it. And then eventually you fall into a, you know, just this hatred of yourself, and you cut it off. You give up, right? And it's the same thing with all kinds of things. So I guess for today, for me, sorry, let me back up a little bit. I apologize. The title of this video, I guess, is a little bit misleading if I don't give you a nugget. So the thing that got me going today, honestly, was there's a friend of mine, Scott Curtis, just called you out, Scott. So one of the things he said to me yesterday, actually, while we were talking, is if you ever don't feel like working out, take your pre-workout, because that stuff, as long as it's a pre-workout that already works for you, that gets you a little bit of a boost, that makes you feel like you are powerful and can do anything, then taking a shot of that, taking your pre-workout, will get you in a mindset where you feel like you've got to burn that energy. So you know what I did? I got it out. I opened up that jar, and if you want to know what I use, I'll leave a link in the description, because I think it's, you know, I've done some research on it, and it's got really good reviews, and it works well for me. The flavor is a little bit interesting, but I think most of these kinds of supplements are. But I took it, and I, within minutes, felt like I needed to do something. I needed to get to the gym, even though I didn't want to, even though I didn't feel like I needed to. Here I'm sitting on the gym parking lot right now, and just finishing up this video so I could walk in and do my workout today. And now that I've dragged this on long enough, I have enough of the pre-workout in my system to actually push through a full workout and not hit a wall. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you got something out of it. Please, if you have any, if you've run into these kinds of issues, share your story. I'm interested to know what kinds of stuff you might have run into. Maybe there's a different outcome that you've been able to find, or a different solution. Please, I'm very interested in what you've got to say. So drop it in the description or in the comment section below. And if you're just a hater talking shit, then peace out. I don't want to hear that. No one wants to talk to you anyway. So love you. Take luck, and talk soon.